Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a Kali Oracle reading for, so if you watch some of my videos prior, I'm talking about the Aries North Node, which is my placement, and how 18 years of patterns and karma is cleared and released. So if you're feeling like you just want to lay in bed and sleep or be near water or so on and so forth, and you're lethargic, that's perfectly fine. It's because everything is being cleaned out, like a clean slate starting for you, okay? So also we have the new moon coming up in Cancer. So we're in the sun sign of Cancer right now. We had the Capricorn full moon, right? So now we're entering the new moon on the 17th of July. So pretty much in a few days. Today's the 13th, right? Yeah, pretty much in a few days. I had to clear my energy. I lit some incense. I had to clear my energy before starting this video because I just got back, basically. I bought a new luggage so that when I go to Jordan, I have my handbag and luggage, right? I'm pretty pissed because it's a lot cheaper here, even though I knew it's a lot cheaper in Gyumri than it is in Yerevan, because the last time I bought my handbag in Yerevan and I had to walk additional because it's a flea market, but it ended up being more expensive there. But anyways, it matches, it's fine, because the handbags were way cheaper in Gyumri, but whatever, hand luggage bag, whatever the hell. And then the zipper freaking ripped, but I fixed all of it, right? So like I'm calling a cab, right? So in Armenia there's this thing called Yandex. It's an app. There's one in Jordan as well. I mean, it's like Uber, but not really. So there's Uber in Jordan as well, and then there's something called Kareem. So that's also an app for taxis. So in Armenia there's Gigi and there's Yandex. I usually use Yandex because it's a bit cheaper. So I called the Yandex and I have my luggage on. I'm waiting, right? Out of fucking nowhere, like I'm just like looking at my phone. My head's kind of like this. Out of nowhere, this really nasty ass guy walking like this with a big belly. Apparently he's perfect. And like 4 or 5 of his friends that are all guys, because that's how in Armenia they don't hang around women, okay? There's like this male, that's what they do. From morning till night, nobody works. None of these men work. They just grow their bellies. And this is maybe offensive to some people, but this is the reality. Men, as a masculine force, should stay active, okay? Because the masculine force, women are receptive. So what does that mean? What does that even mean? A woman's body is made to be receptive. Okay? That doesn't mean she's weak. That doesn't mean he's physically stronger than her. But if men are only just not working during the day and they're not using their physical masculinity in a productive way, they literally turn into abusive men and feminine men. Okay? And this is not to hurt people's feelings, because there's this whole thing about transgenders, and this has nothing to do with that. And you know what? I don't even care if it does affect you at this point, because in Armenia, it's a completely different issue going on, okay? So out of nowhere, I'm not even looking at these people. I'm looking at my Yandex app, the app, right? I'm paying attention to what car is coming and whatever. I don't know where this guy's coming up to my face and he goes, "Osinche," meaning, what is this about me? And I look at him and I'm like, "And what are you doing, Chess?" He goes, "Nothing." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You're nothing." It's just so ugly. And this is why, I don't know, there's this hatred of women in this country. And it's like this hatred of themselves that they reflect. The guy has no idea. Maybe I'm a tourist. I'm coming with luggage. You know what I'm saying? What if I'm an English speaker? Like, there's no, and he's screaming it out loud, no embarrassment, no shame. It's like their parents have never brought them up in a way that there's certain things you just do not do or say. because apparently they're perfect, and I don't know if they're, you know, like I said, mama's boys, their mothers are raising them to believe they're perfect. I don't know. But this is what happens to a man's testosterone when he's not doing anything with himself. Do you get what I'm saying? Hence why, this is why. Remember, this happened to me in Armenia. No other country. This happened to me in Armenia. That's how disgusting the men are in this country. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't exist. This happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of women. And this is why a lot of the women, they leave this country. A lot of people want to leave this country, okay? Then this other taxi cab driver comes. He's yelling and screaming at the other one. I'm like, I just want to get out of this country, man. I want to go out where people are normal. Listen, if you're an Armenian and you're funding anything, maybe you're not Armenian and you're funding something and you're wanting to help out this country, instead of opening up a new restaurant or a new tourist attraction, whether it's in Armenia or Gyumri in general, please open up a clinic for psychological services. Okay? I don't care if you're offering it for free. I don't care if you're offering it with charged money. Please. Everybody needs help in this country. Sevan has a psychiatric board. There's an area, I don't know if it's a hospital or a clinic, they have it. Gyumri 100% needs it. There's not enough organizations here that are providing psychological services to the men in this place. Women need it too, but men in particular. There's groups of women every day. They leave Gyumri and they volunteer to go and prostitute themselves in Istanbul. Why are these women doing it? They're doing it because they find that Turkish men treat them a lot better. They find that Turkish men are more masculine than the men here. Okay? So this is a real fucking problem. And if you truly care about this country, and if you care about your people, if you care about your children, your cousins, your family members, okay? You'll open up a goddamn clinic and you'll offer psychological services to the people, okay? Stop opening up new fucking restaurants and new tourist attractions. The root of the problem is there's too many psychological problems in this country, and the problem starts with each individual that doesn't want to look at themselves. They just want to point the finger, and because there's so much hatred in their hearts, and they're not working on healing this hatred, they want to cause hatred towards other people. And to who do they usually cause the hatred? To other women. Now, these are not myths, but a lot of the women here, they know in Gyumri that the men in this country, they have sex with each other on a regular basis. The men, whether they consider themselves straight or not, their ass cracks have been stretched, okay? And so because they're abusing other people and they're abusing their own selves in return, this is not normal. This is not something I ever want to be a part of. I don't want to be associated with anyone or anything anymore. And there's a long list of women that don't want to be here anymore either. Okay? So I know we've worked very hard on bringing tourists to Gyumri in Armenia. And this is not just a Gyumri issue. This is in all of Armenia and the diasporans too. Okay? But if you're planning on sending all this fundraising money and you want to open up a business, can you just open up a goddamn clinic and offer psychological services, please? Whew. Now, we're already 9 minutes into the video and I've been just venting because everywhere I go, I see abuse. Everywhere I go. And it's not even just this moment. It's every moment to other people. Okay? For example, 2 weeks ago, a woman is single. She wants to meet an Armenian guy. Okay? Maybe she's looking to date. Maybe she wants to get married. I don't know. It was in front of me. Okay? We're in the center of Gyumri. And she just starts chit-chatting with this random guy. So they're chit-chatting, right? And she's like, I don't want to give my phone number to just anyone, but because I realized I can hear her talking to her sister. They're in front of me. You know what I mean? She goes, I don't want to give him my number immediately. She's like, oh, just give it. You never know. What if he's, you know, you get to know each other. What are you going to do forever? Just stay single. So she ends up giving her number to this guy, right? Immediately he comes back when he gets her number and he says to her, I'm going to take you out in about an hour. I'm going to go out or whatever. It's just me and you. He's basically insinuating that she's a prostitute. So can you imagine? So he's ready to treat her like they're getting together just to have sex. She wants a relationship. She wants someone to get to know. You know, she's thinking she has a sister there. The guy's gonna maybe understand. So do you see this fucking problem? There's problems here. Okay? And I'm tired of being constantly in these environments of the men are not men. And the women, because they don't feel nourished, supported, protected, safe, they're fucking leaving. And then there's ignorant women that don't want to admit that their sons or whoever are treating women like this because that's their sons. They raise them to believe they're the lion of the jungle or some king. The only thing he's a king of is eating. This is a problem, okay? This is a fucking problem, and I'm not going to be the one to... Months ago, I was offered a job in a clinic to provide psychological services. I declined. I said, no, I'm not the one that is going to be doing this. I don't want to be doing this. Not here. I offer my services online. I stopped doing shit for other people in this country. I'm not risking it anymore. So... There's other psychologists here, okay? Give them a job. Open up a clinic. Give them a job. Make sure they're safe. This country and this city needs multiple psychologists. It would be preferable if you have locals that you hire in there and you have outside people, okay? Who can speak Russian, who can speak Armenian, who could speak English. But it's needed. Anyhow... I gotta flip my ring because I'm gonna clear the energy in this deck. When you're not a man, you have to admit you're not a man. Literally. I don't know where these people think they're going in life. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And to know... How do you not get angry at these things? You know what I'm saying? How do you not get angry? So the energy right now is Cancer is a very maternal, intuitive, supportive. When I'm not saying all Cancerian women or all Cancerian people are very supportive and loving and motherly. No, I'm talking about the energy itself. It's connected to water, right? So it's an emotional, it's empathic. It feels things. It feels the pains of other people. It takes on the pains of other people as its own, as if it's happening to them. It's a sign that likes to indulge, or when things get too much, they start to indulge. Dakshina came up. So this is obviously a time where, you know, motherly, which is ready to defend something, but not really fighting. More so of... Guys, this is a time right now where you know there are issues in your life, but you're moving in another direction, okay? So what I mean by that is sometimes we have to admit defeat in a sense that if something is upsetting me, if something is upsetting you, if something is bothering you, there's only so many things you can do to help yourself and other people. Some people just eventually get to that point where they just submit themselves to God, or they just submit themselves in a sense of, when I mean submission, I'm not saying become weak. I'm just saying you don't really say I give up, but you step back and you're like, there's nothing I can do, or I don't know what to do, or maybe this is out of my control and I should just kind of take care of my own self and what is good for me and what is, you know, because that person at the end of the day isn't me. If I cannot take care of my emotional state, if I cannot take care of my mental state, how am I possibly going to take care of another? So this is a time right now where the new moon, right, usually takes another 2 weeks, so until early August. we don't want to do things the way we used to do things, where we're taking on other people's energies and mistaking it as our own. Okay? We don't have to identify ourselves through other people. So for example, if something is happening in your life, just because someone is trying to put you in this category, or if someone needs you to be here, can you just sit with it? Sit with it and ask yourself, is this the direction I want to go with myself? Is this what I really want to do? Do I really want to be a part of this? And if you don't, time for a new direction. Alter it, change the direction. You have to close your eyes and really feel out the situation. It just feels like past things, or, you know, sometimes you have to get upset for you to realize something is no longer working for you. Maybe before you saw it. Maybe before you felt it. Even though you knew it wasn't for you, but you were tolerating it. You were tolerating it, but now you're no longer able to tolerate it because it's upsetting you. And it's making you uncomfortable. It's making you physically sick. You're getting ill. You're just tired of it, and you don't want to go through these cycles anymore. And remember, because we're clearing out 18 years of stuff, you don't have to do things for other people anymore that are making you sick. Why? Why do things for other people that are making you sick when they're ungrateful? If someone is ungrateful, if someone is spitting on your face, why would you want to go out of your way to help this person? Unless you're a psychologist or a psychiatrist. These people do need help. People like that need help, right? So the Cancerian energy usually steps in and starts to help people. This energy of stepping in and helping people, unless you're a qualified nurse and you've got the backup and you've got the background and you've got a group of people who are making sure you're supported in return for the stuff you're doing, why are you going to freely offer yourself to someone who is psychologically fucked up? Do you think he's going to care about you? Do you think he's going to respect you? Do you think he's going to support you? This could be to females too. This could be to your family members. This could be to your circle of friends. Do you think he's going to honor you? No. He is not. She is not. You're not going to be honored for helping these people. They may actually disrespect you and see you even lower than what you are. I'm not saying you're low. I'm saying you're high value. But people like this, who talk like this, who treat people like this, who act like this, they themselves don't know what their worth is, but they portray themselves that they know what their worth is. It's an egotistical, insecure energy that doesn't know how to work on itself, or to cleanse itself, or to take care of itself. And there's no renewal, there's no cleansing. It's just cracked. So it's bothering you, so you have to go in a new direction now, because you do not have to unlimitedly give your time and energy and your physical to people that are ungrateful. It's not needed. It's not wanted. At least not from you and not from your higher self. There's a thing, like, for example, some people were like, oh, Talad, maybe you're not happy in Armenia because no one is accepting you. Listen, it's not about people accepting me. There are people that have accepted me. It's the mere fact that I don't like anyone. And because I don't like anyone, I haven't met anyone that I actually like, that I can say, I honor you and I respect you for who you are, for what you're doing, for the changes you're creating, for the goodness that you're doing. I haven't met anyone that I can say that to, for the person that you are. I haven't met anyone that I can say that to, that I feel that way to. Hence, because I don't like anyone, what's happening is, it's being reflected back at me. Talad, because you don't like anyone, you need to be in an environment where you do like people, where you do see people who are accountable for their actions, who take responsibility to fix their mistakes, who say sorry, who look at themselves and are able to say, you know what? I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to treat people like this anymore. Or they don't even treat people like that. Do you get what I'm saying? I remember when I first came to Gyumri, and I got this conversation again last week, 2 weeks ago, where somebody was saying, you're not like the females in Armenia. Yeah, I know I'm not like the females in Armenia. Oh, it's just something in your eyes. It's something in your eyes. It tells us you're not like the girls. It's not about your physical. It's more about who you are. Okay, so, oh, you're a good person. So what am I supposed to do with that? You're able to see I'm a good person. Are you a good person? You saying I'm a good person, what is that going to do for me? You telling me I'm a good person, what is that going to do for me? All these people that come out and tell me, oh, you know, Armenians are traitors. It's very clear, and it could be very clear that you're also a traitor, hence why you bring it up that that's an issue. Do you get what I mean? So every single human being in this country or outside of this country that is connected to this country, who apparently cares about the well-being of this country and its inhabitants, if they're fully aware that there's traitors within and outside of our communities in our country, why is it that it's still continuing? Why? Because the people who are saying that they're traitors and there's traitors in the communities are giving it away, that they themselves are traitors. They give it away. Do you understand? So it's very important that you actually hear people out. It's not so much about what a person says, it's what's coming out from inside of them when they say it. Do you know what I mean? Just like when I'm talking right now, it should be very clear to you what my value system is. I cannot tolerate people who say they're a certain way and they do something else. No, I don't know. Absolutely not. Guya Kali. I feel like this is a time of big changes, man. No, because it's like these patterns that have been in your life are really coming to an end. It's like the fact that you're able to identify that there has been patterns in your life, cycles in your life, that it doesn't matter how much healing, it doesn't matter how much work you've done on yourself. Maybe it was 10, 15, 20 years, the same things happening over and over again, an accumulation of this feeling that it's affecting your self-worth, of where you're living, the type of people around you. Maybe you travel the world and you feel like wherever you go, it's the same kind of people around you. This is the time right now where things are finally it's changing. All that, everything is changing. So by you being able to see through that and identify that, hold on, this isn't making me feel good anymore, it's making me physically sick. It usually starts off on an energetic vibration first, where something it doesn't feel right. And then it starts to affect the physical. And then you start to get all angry. And you're like, I'm not tolerating this anymore. I want to be peaceful. I don't want to be like screaming all the time, you know? You get what I mean? You know, Kali is actually corresponding to the signs of Cancer and Capricorn. So this is the time right now. Lilith, Kali, these are the signs. Astrological alignment of Capricorn and Cancer. Saturn and the Moon. Yeah, it's a death. It's an end of cycles, man. You're probably feeling an intensity right now because it's kind of like a roller coaster ride, or it's like in order to kind of go through something, there's like a big shakeup like this because it's the end all be all. It's not going to repeat anymore. Shit's not going to repeat anymore. You know how they say to you, I don't know if you want to call it in spirituality or whatever, psychology or all of it combined, esoteric arts, people may say to you, practitioners, that, oh, you know, if it bothers you, it means you're not over it. Well, yes and no. Because a lot of times you're taking a lot of pressure and stress from other people and it doesn't feel good to you, but it's not upsetting you, or your consciousness is not realizing that it's upsetting you until it gets to that point where you're like, no more, right? So sometimes it's needed for it to get to that point where you're like, no more. Because what happens is, You say to yourself, maybe I just have to get out of this. I have to physically get out of the country I'm in. I have to go on vacation. Because ultimately, if we are changing ourselves, if we're putting in effort and energy to change ourselves, then we're obviously not going to be able to tolerate an abusive environment anymore. So here's the time to go through this rebirth like a little baby that's being born, you know, and there's nurturance and so on and so forth, and this is glowing of energy. Maybe at nighttime you get premonitions or enlightenment or insights. Acknowledge what you feel and what you sense, and while you're sleeping, maybe you're having some dreams, but there's a gift that's waiting to come through and be given to you. It could come through a person, it could come through a project, it can come through creativity, it can come through a desire or a dream that you had many years ago, but it wasn't coming to fruition because the timing wasn't right, or maybe the right people weren't around you. It could be that maybe you realize you don't need to do it with other people, that you're going to do it on your own, and then the right people or the correct people who are in a healthy way coming forward with you will start to work with you. Shinamasta. Definitely, guys, this is the time for a new beginning. This is what I have here. These are prayers and hymns to Kali. This is what is happening right now. No more patterns. And this could even be your own toxic patterns. What are your toxic patterns? Are you addicted to coffee? Are you addicted to alcohol? Are you addicted to anything that's over something? Like, there's people who are into healing their chakras, and so what happens is one or two or three of the chakras end up overworking. Okay, so pay attention. And you know, this usually means like ego, but what I feel like with this reading is it's not so much about the ego, it's more so of patterns being cut. No more of the same things repeating anymore. And it's going to get a lot more clear, okay, I think in the month of August. Maybe moving forward in the next 2 weeks, next week, it's going to get more clear as well. But I want to say it's going to take about 2 to 4 weeks until things start to get a lot more clear for you. And it can take 4 months, it could take 6 months until full realizations, because it depends on you, it depends on your birth chart, it depends on your life situation and circumstance. But ultimately, you're the high priestess in a sense that do something that feels good for you. Don't do something because it feels good for other people. Those stages of life are over. You have to do stuff that feels good for you. Because when you do, the right situations and the right people show up. If you're in a place, situation around people and things, and you feel uncomfortable because the people are just ridiculous. They laugh at each other. They disrespect each other. They mock each other. They pretend to be clean. But deep down, you see what they're like behind closed doors. You're like, this doesn't feel good for me. I don't want to be part of this. Just be true to yourself and take yourself out of it. You don't have to make a scene. If you want to make a scene, go ahead. Depends on your character, but you don't have to. Do what feels right for you so that you glow. See her eyes? Her third eye is open. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust your gut instinct. You got to trust your own visions in life. If you're here to accomplish something, if you're here to inspire other people, you're living your inspiration, man. Sometimes you don't even have to tell people what to do. You don't have to, nothing. You are an example for other people. People will be inspired by you breathing, by what you're doing, by who you are. Energy, you know, it's like a spark. People feel. And people can definitely feel authenticity. And they hate it. A lot of insecure people who do not work on themselves, they do not like authentic people. But you do you anyways. You be genuine for you anyways. You're not here to be liked. You're here to make a difference. For who? For you. You're here to be happy. Happiness. is important for you. You could be the biggest millionaire in the world. You still will not find happiness. What is happiness? Find out. What is your happiness? I think this is the time right now to find out what your fucking happiness is. What is your happiness? Be happy, man. Don't fake it. There's a phrase that goes, fake it until you make it. No, man. Stop faking shit anymore. Those patterns are over. Because when you start faking things, you're attracting the wrong people. You're attracting the wrong circumstances. If something doesn't look right, if something doesn't feel right, speak up about it. If you don't feel good to speak up about it, because maybe your circumstances you're afraid it's going to lead to something maybe not good for you. Maybe you don't feel safe. Remove yourself out of the situation then. Go home. Get out of it. Stop talking to those people. If you don't trust it, don't trust it. Trust is earned. It's not just given freely like a magical wand. Yeah, we have to trust people and that's it. No. Okay, so I hope this video helped. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm going to end the reading here. You know, in order for me to feel healthy and happy, a woman's environment is so vitally important. And it does not matter if that area has turned into a hotspot for tourists. It's just, when you're enlightened, you cannot drop your own value and you cannot drop your own energetic frequency just so other people can match up with you. It doesn't work that way. You know, I had been doing that for many years just so that I can help my nation. I can help people here. I'm no longer doing anything for anyone anymore. And it's not because I don't care. I do care. It's about, I care about myself more. Do you understand? There's all these women every day they leave. They're going to Istanbul. There's a million other countries you can go. But because they've been taught by these men that they're disgusting whores, whether they are or not, they would rather go to the enemy's country and have sex with the enemy and view the enemy as more masculine, supportive, loving than the men who are of their own neighborhood and country, who are being, you know, it's a cycle. And the main root of the cause is these men need psychological fucking help. And again, if you're an Armenian or a non-Armenian who's watching this video and you care about this nation and you want to make a difference, work to get these men psychological services. Do you understand? That is what is needed. Not another restaurant. I have a client. I will have to end this video call.
You have a call from Fast Forward. To accept this call, press any touch phone key. You
Goodbye.
are to be connected to a caller.